What was your first thought when you heard that there was a national dialogue bill before Parliament? It was at best for me. But then I started seeing comments for and against it, and then I got curious. Aren't these people who are sponsoring this bill the same ones who refused to participate in some national dialogue or Indaba just a few weeks prior? Them naming it National Dialogue Bill started to seem a little bit like trolling. Hi, my name is Langamwene, and this is my unpopular opinion. So, what is this National Dialogue Bill? The first thing I did was go to the Parliament website. I downloaded that bill. When you open it, the immediate thing you're going to notice is the full name of the bill, which is National Dialogue, and then in brackets, Constitution, Electoral Process, Public Order, and Political Parties Bill. So it's not just about dialogue, is it? This bill is something that aims to do so much more than simple dialogue. So I wonder why whoever decided to hide the salient aspect of the bill's name in brackets. That seems like a red flag to me. The bill's preamble reads, "It is an act to facilitate the implementation of the Siyavonga resolutions of political parties." What and where is this Siyavonga resolutions? Because if we are going to have such specific text in an act which has just been approved by Parliament, and it is in the first line, I will suppose that it's referring to an actual breathing document called Siyavonga resolutions. If that exists, where can we find it? The only related thing I was able to find is a political parties joint statement from the Zambia Center for Inter-Party Dialogue, signed by all political parties last year at Kariba Inns in Siyavonga. The parties to the statement affirmed their commitment to a national dialogue process, and they stated, having fully deliberated on the matters associated with the national dialogue, we, the undersigned, these were Secretary Generals of the political parties, have come to the following common agreement. Number one, that the national dialogue process would be facilitated by ZCID and chaired by the church mother bodies. Remember this point. The resolution was a commitment to a national dialogue process which was going to be chaired by the church mother bodies and ZCID would facilitate. We agree that the broad thematic areas to be considered at the Summit of Presidents shall include the following: constitutional and institutional reforms, separation of powers and judicial independence, tolerance, freedom of assembly and civility in politics, electoral reforms. So the parties in Siyavonga agreed to these broad thematic areas to be hashed out at a summit for the presidents. If you read the rest of the bill which has just passed in Parliament, these are also the main themes of that particular bill, except now it has one peculiar inclusion and one additional tweak. The Act now starts a process for enacting laws to regulate political parties. And then it tweaks what was constitutional reforms to say constitutional refinements. This thing is much deeper than the name National Dialogue Bill suggested. Now, what I've been unable to establish is, when did this Siyavonga thing go from broad thematic topics proposed for discussion at a summit of presidents to this full-blown bill which has just been approved by Parliament? How did all this happen when the said summit, as committed to in the said Siyavonga resolution, has not been held? I am left to wonder whether the sponsors of this bill picked out only the parts that they liked in the said Siyavonga resolutions and ignored what called for a summit of presidents. If so, this thing has me very afraid, because if our politicians can pick and choose only what they like from an agreement which is meant to anchor and be the guiding text of a bill which they've just passed, what then gives you and me confidence that the refinements they want to make to the Constitution will reflect the will of the people and not be similarly expedient? Short answer, nothing. My final thought is to those who oppose this bill and those like me who still have a lot of questions. Let us note that it would be irresponsible to shun this process, no matter our sentiments. This act, once Mr. Lungu signs it, will be the law of the land. Whether you take part or not, the outcome will be binding on everyone. In conclusion, I cannot say that this bill was at all about national dialogue. It is more the beginning of a process to rewrite the national constitution and a step towards putting in place laws that will dictate how and what political parties can and cannot do in Zambia. Thank you for watching. See you next time.